Now we get to do a Q&A with the filmmakers, with Avis Richards, and with Michael Nash. And we will also be they will also be inviting additional people on stage. Let's just start with Avis and Michael, real quickly, and then we'll open up.
Is everyone hungry for lunch here?
That's what yes and no.
You guys did an amazing job sitting and watching these films. But as you saw in my film, the importance of eating healthy, it's a direct correlation to how you're learning. So if you can get rid of that junk food and start eating healthier food, you're going to feel better and you're going to be able to learn better. Does anybody have any questions about the film?
Where did you film it?
We filmed it in Baltimore. But the situation is the same all over the country. It could have been a school here or a school in New York where I'm from. What inspired me to make that film? Well, I did the film for Earth Day because they're trying to green schools, which it also means they're trying to put in healthier, see that our schools become healthier in their school lunch programs. And we also wanted to raise awareness for parents and students how, lunches are being served in our country, the kind of food that's being served, and what could be done to provide a healthier lunch program. And sitting with me is Sarah and Lori, and they actually have a program here in LA schools that they're making changes in the schools. So I just want them to share a little bit about what you're doing.
Hi, my name is Sarah Gelb, and I'm the Executive Director of Growing Great, and this is Lori Sherman, who is one of our founders. And we are a school garden and nutrition education nonprofit that started about 10 years ago to inspire children and adults to adopt healthier eating habits. We're in about 25 elementary schools throughout Los Angeles, and we train parents and volunteers to go into the classroom and teach kids about planting in a school garden, learning where their food comes from, and then why it's important to choose higher quality whole foods that are close to the source and minimally processed.
All right, so then let's move it over to Michael and the wonderful guest you brought with us.
Yes, this is Justin Hogan. He actually helped me produce the film. We traveled around the world when we shot this thing. Let me just say something up front because I always forget it and he always mentions after we get off stage. We are on Facebook. If you go to Climate Refugees on Facebook, Climate Refugees Group. And we also, if you go to climaterefugees.com if you want to learn anything else. But I'll tell you a little bit about the film. 3 years ago, I read an article that was written by the United Nations University that stated that there were more environmental refugees in the world than there were refugees from political or religious persecution. And the statement didn't make any sense to me. So I called the United Nations up and they basically gave me no love or denial on it. And I started investigating this. And what we kind of found was all of these people, that are in the middle of this intersection where overpopulation, overconsumption, lack of resources, and a changing climate are being forced to migrate. And there's not an international law that actually protects these people. So, these folks are coming to America. They're coming to, unfortunately, they're going to be coming to everywhere around the world. And it's an issue that we started out, we screened to a lot of leaders of the world in Copenhagen in December. And then we went to Sundance. We screened at Sundance. We've been on this kind of festival college tour. And we're very excited to kind of be in front of you guys. If you have any questions, I'll also let Justin say some things. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer for you.
Okay, so who wants to be the very first? Oh, someone is standing up there, so she's first now. Okay.
You only mentioned elementary schools. Are you considering middle and high school?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we're currently developing a K through 2 curriculum and a middle school curriculum.
And for the second film, the mother who lost her baby in the flood and the father who lost the village, they both took such great guilt on that. Did you find out throughout your travels with everybody who lost somebody or who lost a village? Because it was so heartbreaking to see how much guilt they carried around that they thought it was all their fault.
I mean, that's an interesting point. I mean, at times we did. I mean, this is what climate change does to people. It basically degrades them as human beings. So when you're a parent and a father, or you have a sibling, and climate change comes along, and you're not able to protect that person, just like in any reason, there's that guilt. So we did find that in a lot of the victims that this had happened to. And we found that very much in our travels, and this is why this issue is so important. And I know it seems a little bit maybe abstract to you guys, but it's really not, because you are the guys, you are the people that are going to be taking over these jobs. You are the people that are going to be starting to lead this nation and this world. So it's so important for us to be in front of you so you can start to understand really what's going on outside of your environment as well.
Let me just touch on that really quick. Another interesting thing, there's a huge guilt complex that a lot of people that we found in all of these indigenous communities that don't have the internet and don't have television, they actually believe that they've done something wrong and God is penalizing them. And when you speak to these folks and you try and let them know that the science around the world doesn't think that, and that you have done nothing wrong. This is just kind of a combination of things that are occurring in the world. It's tough to kind of hear their stories at times. And the next question?
I was just going to applaud everybody for making the film. I applaud for the film, but it's sad to see what's going on around the world. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I think this is an important point. This is only a political issue, climate change, to the level that it is in America. The rest of the world has moved on in this issue. They've listened to the scientists. And so it's really up to you guys. You can become incredibly involved with this you can vote by what you buy. You can also become very involved in holding your politicians accountable. And if you go to our site, there's a little link on there where you can write a letter to Obama directly or write a letter to your senators. And these are the ways that we start changing things. But we are, it's interesting because only about 80% of Americans don't have passports, but a lot of them feel that they know what the world needs. And we actually went out and tried to document what we saw in the world. And what the world needs is really for all of us to come together, because we're going to live in a very different world, a very crowded world. And we really need to kind of get ahead of this tsunami that's heading toward humankind, or we're going to live in a really challenging place.
That's right. Now there is a lady all the way at the end who was standing up. She definitely has a question. We have to let her ask it. Yes?
Oh, you're right.
What's your question?
Are we all going to die?
Are we all going to die?
Yes.
If you
That's a
keep
good
eating
one.
that cafeteria food, you might.
That's a good one to answer.
No, we're not all going to die, but we are going to live in a different world. And how different that world is depends on what we do in the next decade. So we can certainly get a hold, and shh, this is only about whether we're going to die or not. It's not that important of a question. No, it's we're not all going to die. We're going to be okay. But we need to get up. We need to change the way that we are going about, living and be more sustainable.
Yes, you have a question right here.
The film kind of touched on how, this is happening right now to people in other countries. What I'm wondering is, you said we can write letters and things like that, but these people need help now, and we need attention. Is there no programs to help them?
And actually, before you even answer that question, because that's a great question, and I know we're going to be wrapping soon, and I really want to make the last 2 minutes of this Q&A really about solutions, and so that you don't leave here thinking, are we all going to die? For you to really leave here not just educated, but inspired that this is what I can do. For example, Michael mentioned his Facebook. He's going to mention it again, and hopefully Avis also has, everyone up here,
Facebook,
everyone, so that they can give you at least some tools that you can start using today, besides the knowledge that you have here, some tools that you can start using to get connected to this community. So I'll start at the end so that you folks have a chance to do that and give that information to the students.
This sounds a little harsh, but when you go out and you see those insane new sneakers that you want to buy, have a look at the company that makes it.
That's
okay?
right.
It's so important on what you guys buy. I know it's, you know, in front of you on TV and this, it's marketed and it's great, and that guy has it, that girl has it, but try and be a little bit more kind of investigative. And if they're a company that's really bad in terms of sustainability and green, and the environment, don't buy from them.
Don't buy it.
You know what? Don't do it, because there's another company out there that's going to make a product that's almost the exact same, and it is good. Support it, and then all of a sudden the buying trends will start to change.
Yes.
You know, everybody thinks that all this plastic is recycled. Only 4% of plastic is recycled right now. Stop drinking water out of plastic bottles. You know, when you brush your teeth, turn the water off. There's really, really simple things that we can do. I'll tell you something that we did at Sundance when we screened at a high school there, and I'd recommend, I will hold you guys, I'll throw this out to be accountable for a school project. What we did in Sundance to this high school that we screened at, we basically gave them a school project where find 10 companies that are absolutely positively doing the wrong thing for you and your children that will come in the future, and stop buying from them, and tell your grandparents and your aunts and uncles and boyfriends and girlfriends and brothers and sisters to stop buying from them too. Then find 10 companies that are actually doing the right thing, maybe companies that you aren't buying from. Change your buying habits a little bit if need be, and start buying from them, and tell your aunts and your uncles and your grandparents and your grandfathers, to buy from them as well. And we got a letter back from the principal of the high school about 6 weeks after that, and it literally started changing buying habits within the community. You vote with your dollar. Corporations who are building all of this junk that's destroying us, they're only gonna make what we buy. And if we don't buy it, they will do the right thing. So you guys, it's unbelievable how much power you guys have.
Yes, which is why you're all here today. This is a good thing. This is really great. So your Facebook one more time?
Climate Refugees. We're also on Twitter at Climate Refugees.
Okay. Fantastic. I'm so sorry. We're going to go quickly to Avis because we only have 2 minutes. We've got to get them back on time.
You can also find us on Facebook, Lunch the Film, or go to our website, lunchthefilm.com, and you can write to your congressman there too. But the main thing is, use your voices. If you hate that school lunch, let the administrators know, let your parents know. Make the healthy food decisions on your own, or start a club, grow a garden, and you don't need a backyard to do that. That can be done on the concrete even.
That's right.
Time for one more.
If you want to make a change nutritionally in your life tomorrow, I would challenge you all to wake up and make your own breakfast, because you will do better in school. Although you don't have school, do it on Monday. You'll do better in school, you're going to have more energy, and you're going to feel better and make it through the day in a much better mood. So that would be my challenge for you.
Wonderful. Any last words?
I would just like to say, now you guys are the ambassador of both of these movements. Go out and spread the word.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, thank you all for coming.